Oh, hello. How have you lot been? Now I know I have been away for a while now, but I'm getting back in the groove of things. There are a lot of stories and articles that I want to make a video on, but today's video is a bit special. One of my friends sent me a news article and asked me to make a video on it. I took a glance at it and instantly knew that this article deserves a video with my opinion on it. The news article in question is this, by BBC: Prompt Dress Prompts Cultural Appropriation Row. A high school student's prom dress have generated a furious debate online after social media users accused the 18-year-old of cultural appropriation. Because apparently it is a big deal in today's day and age. The article continues, Twitter user Kezia, who is not Chinese, posted pictures of herself wearing a cheongsam or kipo? I hope I got that right. A traditional Chinese dress for her prom in Utah, USA, last week. In a widely shared response to the pictures, one Twitter user, Jeremy Lamb, tweeted, "My culture is not your prom dress." In the actual original tweet, Jeremy Lamb said, "My culture is not your goddamn prom dress." Sorry, I had to get that kind of accent out. Unrelated fun fact, a thread. Oh boy, it's gonna be one of those videos where I roast someone for having a Twitter rant over something that didn't even concern them to begin with. Anyways, let's dig into it. The kipao was originally a loose dress/garment without shape, made for Chinese women to clean the house and do other domestic chores with. It was then altered and embroidered as a beautiful form-fitting outfit to wear publicly, which Chinese people were not allowed to do during the times of extreme patriarchal oppression. Why am I having a feeling I'm reading the tweets of a triggered feminist? In a time where Asian women were silenced, they were able to create not only a piece of art, but a symbol of activism. This piece of clothing embraced femininity, confidence, and gender equality through its beautiful, eye-catching appearance. Yep, definitely reading the tweets of a triggered feminist cuck. Well, I just couldn't believe everything Jeremy was saying, so I had to do some background research of my own. According to thoughtco.com, kipao, also known as cheongsam in Cantonese, is a one-piece Chinese dress that has its origins in Manchu-ruled China back in the 17th century. The style of the kipao has evolved over the decades and is still worn today. During Manchu rule, the chieftain Nurhaci established the banner system, which was a structure for organizing all Manchu families into administrative divisions. The traditional dress that Manchu women wore became known as the kipao, meaning banner gown. After 1636, all Han Chinese men in the banner system had to wear the male version of the kipao called the changpao. Yes, you heard that, you're correct. 1636. I went on the Wikipedia page for Manchu people, and while I could not find any information about kipao, a piece of information did corroborate with thoughtco.com. A century after the chaos started in the Jurchen lands, Nurhaci, a chieftain of the Jiangzhou left guard, began a campaign against the Ming Empire in revenge for their manslaughter of his grandfather and father in 1583. In 1603, Nurhaci gained recognition as the Shor Kundulin Khan. So the century definitely match, and one can assume that when Nurhaci gained recognition, he made kipao the traditional dress throughout the region he had under control, which would be somewhere between 1603 and 1636. So what does that have to do with Jeremy's tweet? Well, according to him, in a time where Asian women were silenced, they were able to create not only a piece of art, but a symbol of activism. This piece of clothing embraced femininity, confidence, and gender equality through its beautiful eye-catching appearance. But nowhere in the ThoughtCo article it says anything about kippah being a symbol of activism. I don't exactly need a DeLorean to go back in time to figure out that women in general didn't have many rights in that era. So to say that kippah was a sign of activism, femininity, confidence and gender equality is complete and utter nonsense, especially the gender equality part. Jeremy, I'm not Chinese, but what I am saying comes from a little bit of research and some common sense. Maybe I am wrong, but if I am, do prove me wrong by providing me some evidence to your statements. I will be more than happy to look into them. Jeremy's Twitter rant went on. It even broke the division of financial classes. It could be made with high quality materials that only the upper class could afford, such as special silks and linens, but as a dress just as beautiful could have been made with just cotton and low quality linen. This tweet caught my attention, and one that can be seen in ThoughtCo's article where it's written, in the 1920s in Shanghai, the cheongsam was modernized and became popular among celebrities and the upper class. It became one of the official national dresses of the Republic of China in 1929. The dress became less popular when communist rule began in 1949 because the communist government tried to erase many traditional ideas, including fashion, to make way for modernism. The Shanghainese then took the dress to British-controlled Hong Kong, where it remained popular in the 1950s. At the time, working women often paired the cheongsam with a jacket. For example, Wong Kar-wai's film In the Mood for Love, set in Hong Kong in the early 1960s, features Maggie Cheung wearing a different cheongsam in almost every scene. ThoughtCo's article continues. The kippahs worn today are modeled after ones made in Shanghai in the 1920s. So in other words, the kippah that Kezia wore was not modeled after the ones that was worn by women in the 1600s, when women actually suffered under patriarchal oppression, but one that is modeled after national dress of the Republic of China. Jeremy, someone in the West chose to wear the national dress of the Republic of China. She could have worn anything, yet she decided to wear this dress to her prom. Take a look at her friends and the dresses they are wearing. Kezia looks different from all the rest, and dare I say looks prettier than other girls. She chose to represent your country by wearing its national dress, and instead of thanking her for representing your country, you decided to attack her with a barrage of tweets. But this is not the first time the internet lost it when it came to the so-called cultural appropriation. In 2017, a young girl's Japanese tea party was labeled racist because the girl was wearing a kimono and had her face painted. Of course, all the social justice warriors and the socially sensitive millennials were shouting cultural appropriation from the top of their lungs when a Japanese person stepped in and said, "I am Japanese, in Japan at this very moment. The only people who think culture shouldn't be shared are racist like you. A vast majority of Japanese people actually enjoy other people making an effort to spread and enjoy Japanese culture and encourage it. Many make businesses in deliberately taking pictures of people in kimono. A common homage for foreigners from Japanese people is traditional Japanese things such as kimonos, tea seats, shisha dog statues, etc. And to top it off, basically 80% of Japanese customs, traditions, and food came from other countries. Japanese is an integration of different cultures. Like America, Japan takes influences from places like Korea, China, Russia, and Europe. If Japan stuck to itself, there would be no tempura, Japanese tea, tea ceremonies, kabuki, Japanese bread, Japanese curry, J-pop, anime, cars, or modern fishing techniques. The picture is not yellowface. They are not making fun of Asians. In fact, it looks like they put extra care and research into their work. The only reason that you have a problem with this is because that little girl is white, and you know that is acceptable on Tumblr to crap all over white people. The only racist here is you. Another article I would like to touch upon is this. Yep, that happened when a model named Carly Kloss, who I might add over here is extremely hot, did a photo shoot for Vogue magazine. According to the article, the shoot features Kloss dressed like a geisha. Her face appears to be whitened and her face is done in the traditional Shimada hairstyle. We reiterate, this shoot is apparently published in a magazine in 2017. Once again, the internet went in a hissy fit and Carly Kloss came forward and apologized. Now I would like to take this moment and say that Kezia is very brave for not deleting her photos and for not apologizing. Because people in America might make a big deal out of it, but in China, people might appreciate Kezia's efforts. Why? Because going back to Carly Kloss's photo shoot, I found this article, which I have to say is the ultimate bitch slap on the faces of all those culturally sensitive millennials. Japanese Twitter seems to have no problem with Carly Kloss's geisha photo shoot. In the article, you can read the reaction of Japanese people and how they felt of Carly Kloss's photo shoot. One Twitter user wrote, "I feel sorry for Carly Kloss. The Vogue photos were beautiful." Another one wrote, "Carly Kloss dresses like a Japanese person. Japanese people, wow, you respect Japanese culture. You are our friend. We are happy." People overseas, "She's stealing Japanese culture." People overseas, "She's making fun of Japanese people." Japanese people, huh? And this one has to be my favorite. What makes me angry is people getting upset and shouting that this is racist even as they ignore the sensibilities of people in Japan. It's easy to see that they are trying to use the situation to drum up business, and in the end, they don't really care about what the people from the culture in question actually think. They are psychopaths who get a sense of superiority by calling anything and everything racist until the other party bows its head in shame. And you may think that Jeremy Lamb is Chinese so that his say means a lot. The thing is, Jeremy is based in US. He's not based in China, so obviously his political views will be different from people living in China. They might look at Kezia's photos and think that she looks pretty, just like Japanese people did when they looked at Carly Kloss's photo shoot. But since we are back at Jeremy Lamb, there is one last tweet that I need to look at. In short, I'm proud of my culture, including the extreme barriers marginalized people within that culture have had to overcome those obstacles. For it to simply be subject to American consumerism and cater to a white audience is parallel to colonial ideology. White audience? Or do you mean Western audience? Are you trying to imply that anyone can wear a kippah as long as they are not white? I have to wonder if your reaction would have been the same if a black girl had worn this dress. Or an Indian chick. It's like you're giving a free pass to every other race, but you seem to have a hard-on against white people. Do you know what this sort of resentment is called, Jeremy? It's called racism. I would like to quote that Japanese person again who commented on the Japanese Tea Party. The only reason that you have a problem with this is because that little girl is white, and you know that it's acceptable on Tumblr, or in this case, Twitter, to crap all over white people. The only racist here is you. Whether it's appropriation or appreciation, that depends on the person wearing the dress. What's appropriation to you could be appreciation to someone else. And yes, it is understandable that Jeremy could have been offended, but to say that white people cannot wear any other ethnicity's dresses just because they are white is complete nonsense. It will create more barriers between people of different cultures as the sense of appreciation will fade away. Now for an example that's closer to my heart. Remember Black Panther? Yeah, the dude is wearing a sherwani which is worn in Asian culture in countries like Bangladesh, Pakistan and India. I have attended a lot of conventions and have seen people wearing sherwanis. Now if I was anything like Jeremy here, then I would have been offended, but because I'm not, I take time to walk up to those cosplayers and talk to them, even thank them for taking time out to represent my culture. I think of it in a way that they could have cosplayed as any other character, but they chose to wear this outfit. They must have done some sort of research in the outfit and probably learned about my culture in the process. And that's my point. If you're going to look at the world through the prism of racism, then all you will see is racism. And if that's the only thing you're going to see, then that's the one person you will end up becoming.